Hey, what's up guys? I finally got around to making a Spino TLC video. I wanted to wait a little bit until the Spino craze had calmed down. I have some clips where I get absolutely ganked because it's official, some nice 1v1s, then I did farm for a melanistic skin, and I'll show a great way to farm marks super easily for that. Then some best builds, a water build, a land build, and a hybrid, which I think I prefer, and then some tips on Spino 1v1s in the water. Hope you enjoy, and without further ado, let's crack on. I had already had a fight with this Sarco once, and I kicked his butt and he ran off to heal, and this is what happened when he came back for the second time. So here I thought I was in for a Spino 1v1, and it became a 2v1. At that point I'm thinking, well, I could probably try and kite them around and keep hitting them back with my tail. And then it got a little bit crazy. What a legend that hat is, by the way. He's just a randomer who must have seen what was going on and was trying his best to push them back to give me a bit of space, but there was just too many of them. At this point I was really hoping the hats might have thought to go underneath me and catch me, but unfortunately I took a fall on that one. But two of them actually came down with me and died, which is hilarious. Not long after dying in Big Quill, I respawned over near Young Grove. I was out and about looking for fights, but this group just got bigger and bigger. everything until the Sarco I felt like I could just about manage and I was doing alright, but the Sarco as well was just too much. So here I am farming marks to get a melanistic skin, and the refill quest at Big Quill Lake is a really easy way to get marks. I think a fair bit faster than just doing normal quests. There's some salt rock just around the corner. Munch a load of that, drink out as much of the lake as possible. It needs to get to below 50% to trigger the quest to refill it. Preferably in a bit of an older server. It won't be full anyway, so it won't take much doing. There is 3 piles of clams really nearby, which is super quick, and then 2 piles of clams a bit further up the beach, which you can start getting whilst the other 3 refill again. Just rinse and repeat. I got so many marks, so fast, nice and easy way to get a melanistic skin. I started a fight with this Meg at GV. He was actually quite a pain to deal with, but once I had injured him, he became quite passive and was trying to regain some of his health back. And once I sort of ignored him and went and started a fight with somebody else, he came back and tried to join in. By this point too, I am still using different builds and trying to figure out what I like most. But I'll go over that at the end of the video. I do end up preferring a hybrid, a mix of water and land. But yeah, I'll show you that at the end. found a glitch with the rallying call on the Spino. So if you're on the surface of the water and you pop your call, if you submerge before the call is finished, it cancels, but you still get the cooldown. So if you do pop your rallying call on the surface of the water, make sure to not submerge before the call animation is finished. This other Spino actually came to help me when I was in a fight at the Grand Plains River. Things had gone pretty quiet, there was no more fighting, and this guy asked if we wanted to 1v1 until one of us gets low. So here's a great example of what you want to do when you're fighting other Spinos. Basically, try and hit with your lunge and snap and dodge theirs, as simple as it sounds. Using your tail a lot. The sweep on the Spino is so broken, especially in the water. But trying to predict when he will hit me with a lunge and snap and try and dodge it, and then try and deflect his lunge and snap with the tail, maybe like that. I'll usually save my defense call for when they use theirs, or unless I feel like I'm losing and I need to use it when I'm low on health. This is a hybrid build I'm using too, so if this was a legit fight with a randomer and we were trying to kill each other, I'd probably try and take it on land a little bit, hit them with the claw slam, and then take it back to the water. Try and keep doing that, going to the edge of the water, getting out, hopefully they follow, hit them with a claw slam, and rinse and repeat. GG's to this guy. He did the friendly call as a sign to stop. I did ask him afterwards. He said he was on around 30% health. I'd say I've got maybe 65-70%, so I think I got the better of him there. But he was a good player. It was a good test for us both. But the lunge and snap does that much damage. You only need to dodge one or two of theirs and, hit yours. Hit some tails in between, and there'll be a big difference in the health bar. Right, so having a look at builds. This is the hybrid build I was talking about. Kind of a mixture of both land and water. I do fight in different places quite often. Sometimes I'll go on the land looking for fights. Sometimes I will be fighting like other Spinos and stuff in the water. So I've gone for the heavy damage dealing lunge and snap with the 20% extra damage underwater. But then the claw slam using for land. I do quite like the claw slam. It does a lot of damage. It's good for even fighting other apexes, maybe in a face tank or whatever. Then the solar powered, loads of extra stam recovery during the day and a bit of extra armor at night time. Tide Strider for even more stam recovery when you're wet on land. And the sweep. I think the sweep is probably the best attack in all scenarios. It deals so much damage, it's got great range, the cooldown's not too bad. Really good in the water for knocking things back. Going on for a water build, I think the best advice here is have one heavy damage dealing attack and one that doesn't require stam. So either use lunging snap with the regular claw attack, or the other way around, use the drenched strike claw attack with the regular bite. You don't want to be running low on stam and not be able to use your attacks, or if you're fighting a Sarco and it's draining your stam from the O2 bite. You need something that you can always use. But yeah, get your bite and your claw attack sorted, and then go everything to water, streamline for extra speed. Probably, I don't think it matters too much on these two. Maybe a bit of extra stam recovery or the water lunge, and still with sweep. And if you was going for a land build, I'd probably use regular bite, claw slam. I do prefer solar powered out of these two. You've always got something of use. Extra stam recovery is massive, you can really see the difference, and a bit of extra armor at night time. I did try Bright Sail, and it was okay if you're fighting the likes of like Titans and stuff that are going to put these negative effects on you. But I had a really good 1v1 actually with a Bars a few nights ago. It was a great fight. He did beat me in the end. It took like 25 minutes. It was really close. But I was using Bright Sail at the time, and fighting something like a Bars, they just never trigger that. So you're never getting any benefit from it. They don't bleed, venom, toxin, poison or fracture. So it was kind of useless for that engagement. But yeah, I do recommend the tail in pretty much every scenario to use the sweep. I think it's really good. It's probably going to get nerfed, it's that strong, it does so much damage. The undertow, it does look quite good, but it's got a long cooldown, and I don't like the way it uses stam, and I don't like the way it stops you when you press it. So if you're fighting something like another Apex, for example, it just kind of holds you in place. You know, it doesn't help in any way, or in the way I want it to. And then rallying call for pretty much everything. And that's it for this video. I have got some really good fights on the Spino recorded already, so I'll make another video over the next few days with those in it. Thanks for watching. You're a legend if you made it to the end. Stay tuned, and I'll catch you in the next one.